Hello everyone, my name is Bhuvaneshwari. I'm your trainer for today for the topic Negotiation in Business Communication. In this session, I will teach you the nuances of negotiation and how to get better at it. My objective today is to make you understand the basics of negotiation, like the definition and the principles that you must follow while you're negotiating, and to learn what is not negotiation and the techniques you must follow during the negotiation process and become a pro negotiator with the help of some real life examples. Now let's understand the basic definition. You can pause and read the definition, or I'll explain it to you in a simpler way. The basic idea of negotiation is when two or more people discuss and accept on the same output and comes to an agreement. Everything is negotiation. For example, you ask permission to your mother to go out on Sunday. And your mother says, okay, you can go, but you need to finish your breakfast and be back home on time for lunch. And you both agree for each other's request. Now both parties are happy, and that's called negotiation. How simple is that? Okay, how do we apply this at work? We constantly negotiate at work. I'll tell you how. For example, we negotiate for salary, or we negotiate for higher pay, or promotion, or extending a deadline to your manager. Ask for so many days of leave, and so that you negotiate with your manager. I have listed some of the examples for you. You can just take a look at it. Students, you should know something really important. If you go with a wrong mindset, that is, I'm going to fight with this person and get my things done, that's not actually how negotiation works. You know why? Because negotiation is not about dominating or fighting or getting things done for yourself. It's about crafting a relationship, making the other party also happy, and getting the best out of the conversation. That is negotiation. In the slide, I have given you the list of principles that you must follow during negotiation. Without knowing this, we cannot be a good negotiator. But I'll explain this to you in the upcoming session, one after the other. The next important thing you must know is what is not negotiation. You might even ask me, ma'am, why should I learn what is not negotiation before even I learn negotiation? I'd say it's very important that you should know what is not negotiation, because you don't make that mistake during your conversation coming ahead. Most of the time we lose because we don't know these are things that we are already doing, and we should avoid doing all of this. And that's the reason I have put it across. Now I will take time to explain this in the later sessions, because today I'm going to teach you some important techniques that is going to help you become a pro negotiator. The first thing that you should do is to research. Figure out whether whatever you're asking is realistic. Say for example, you're negotiating for a salary. Now some candidates, what they do is they keep their previous company's salary as a base salary, and they ask for a certain amount of hike from the previous salary. I'd say instead of doing that, you do your research. You check for what is the value of your role in the current market, with the skill sets you have, with the certifications you have. So if you don't do the research and just blindly ask a number, then you may end up asking for too much or too little. That's why you have to find out what is a range. And you can also check the industry reports, websites like Glassdoor, Fishbowl, where people will post their previous salary that they got, in fact from the same company also what you are interviewing for. So talk to people in your professional network and find out what is the lowest, average and the highest for a similar role. Okay, so that you can decide where do you stand, whether you're on the lower scale or the higher scale, so that you can ask in between and decide where do you stand and make up your mind for a range of number, but always make sure to ask closer to the upper limit. And it is also very important to give them solid reasons why you are asking for this particular salary, or why do you think this is what you deserve. Reasons like you have hands-on experience on the particular softwares that they were talking about, or you can quickly start doing the project because you already have the experience. Or you can in fact say, if you have taken some certifications in between, you can list all the certifications and skills you have improved in this number of years you have worked for the previous company. And relate the current profile and the previous profile and showcase some positive inputs there, because giving the solid reasons will make the person think it's not about the salary, it's about the skills and what you can do for the company. Let's say you're asking your manager for something black and white, like you want work from home because you have an aging parent. So in that case, how will you do the research? Now you have to check the company policy and how it's going to affect your work, so that the manager, when he says, sorry, I cannot do this because it's in the policy, you would have already done the research, so he cannot give you some false reasons also. And talk to mentors, talk to seniors how this can work for you. And you also have to check how this is going to affect your teammates if you're not there at office to work. So these are things, if you consider doing the research, then it'll be very easy to get a yes from your boss. The next technique that I want to teach you is preparing mentally. Asking for things can get emotional. When you sit for a negotiation, you are very likely to feel the fear. What if they mistake us? Feel anxiety or feel angry also. So it's essential to have some strategies in place to manage those feelings. One strategy is to adopt a mindset of defensive pessimism. I'll tell you what is defensive pessimism is. That just means that you accept. They will say no to your request. In case if they said no, what is your alternative? Be prepared with your alternative. So it's better to put your energy in imagining the ways to overcome those obstacles. That way, you will become ready to respond when you face the situation. And the next technique is emotional distancing. That is the idea of being less attached to any specific outcome. Please never have your hopes high when you're negotiating, because understand it's the other person's decision to accept your desired outcome. Always look for an alternative. I know it's easier said than done. We'll all feel emotional like anger, hurt, when our core identities are being threatened. Maybe your manager might say you're not hardworking enough, whereas you always think of yourself as a hard worker in your team. So take it as it's his perspective or her perspective, and try and avoid thinking of negotiations as the ultimate test of your worth. You may be worth more, but what you are offered to is not what you're worth. Go in knowing that your request might be met or may not be met also, and it could be denied as well. Also know that if you feel yourself getting upset, hurt during negotiation, it's okay to step back. Just say, let me think about this a little more. Or say, could we please pause this conversation and continue this tomorrow if you don't mind? Here comes the next technique, putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Taking the time to anticipate the other's needs and challenges is very important. You should think what pressures they might have. What risk would they be taking? Do they even have the power to give you what you're asking for? When you make that request, look at the balanced assertiveness about your own needs with a concern for the other person. As you lay out your case, use phrases like, I'm asking for this because I know it's good for my team, that I want to achieve this and this goal, and I know this is what is going to help me enable it. Now, argument like this will show that person that you're ambitious. You know what you want, but you also care for others. So many of our negotiation missteps, they don't actually come from disagreements, but because of misunderstanding from the other person. So it's important to listen well, to ask why and why not. And you will surely find unexpected opportunities for a win-win solution. I hope you understood the important techniques that you should learn before becoming a pro negotiator. Now let's quickly summarize. I hope you understood the important techniques that you should learn before becoming a pro negotiator. Now let's quickly summarize. Number 1, negotiation is always successful when both parties win. Number 2, please consider, listen, and acknowledge the other person's perspective. Number 3, it's not about the person, it's always about the problem that you're negotiating about. Number 4, appreciate even if you know the other person can do better. That gives a sense of positivity and helps for a winning negotiation. Number 5, don't show your power. Maybe you are the best candidate for the role, or you could be the only team member who can solve that particular bug in your system. But don't show your power. Instead, tell them that this is the alternative that you can do, so that your relationship will still be on good books. Hope you learned the basic techniques of negotiation. Let's meet again with another topic. See you.